Welcome to Ronnie James Dio.
Thank you very much.
Welcome to the Monsters Rock Show. Now, Dio have been together since '82.
Yes.
But, I mean, how and why did you choose the three other guys as Jimmy, Vivian, Vinny?
Oh, very easy reasons for two of them. One, well, two of them I had worked with before.
Of course, yeah.
One was Jimmy Benny and the other was Vinny Avicii in the bands Rainbow and Sabbath, yeah. And I was looking for that magical ingredient, which was, of course, these days the guitar hero, the one who had the capability of playing brilliantly to meet my expectations from the players I had played with before, Richie Blackmore, Tony Iommi, a few others here, of course. And the missing ingredient was Vivian Campbell, and came over here and found him through Jimmy. Jimmy had seen him play in a band called Sweet Savage in Ireland, from Belfast. And he came down for an audition with us, never thinking that he was going to get it. So he was full of confidence. And then when we told him that he had it, he suddenly turned to jelly, and that was the end of it. But that was the other ingredient that we needed. We found Viv, so now we've become a family and a band.
Because I remember reading somewhere that you also said that another important ingredient is that you all get on, and in fact you probably look for that before anything else? We
did look for that first, yeah. Well, Vinny, there was no problem with Vinny. He was my best friend in Sabbath, and Jimmy was my best friend in Rainbow. And Vivian we hadn't known, of course, but we could tell immediately that he was going to be one of those kind of people. Because truthfulness is really what's kept this band together, and we'll keep it together. We really care for each other a lot.
That's great.
Sounds a bit maudlin, but...
No, not at all. What about Claude Schnell? I mean, is he a full-time member?
Yeah, Claude has been finally initiated into the Dio camp. We've taken him from the side of the stage instead of hiding him behind the curtain. The curtain. Claude is now going to be an almost full-fledged member of the visuals that you see.
Oh, that's good. Now, your third album, you've just been recording that, Sacred Heart. How's that going? When are we going to...
Well, it's finished. It'll be released sometime around the early part of August. I think it's the 12th or 13th, something like that.
How do you feel about it?
Very, very pleased.
You produced it, of course.
Yeah. I couldn't be happier with it. I think it shows great progression in the band, the confidence that the players have now within what we've created. And the reaction from the people we play for has been fantastic, too. So we feel real confident about it.
Are the lyrics mystical?
Yes. Yeah, that's my claim to fame, I guess, being Mr. Mystery, Mr. Fantasy. I do that because I think that we've got enough awfulness in the world. Every time you pick up a newspaper, it's someone's being murdered or dragged behind a bush somewhere. And I think it's about time we use our imagination and live some of our dreams instead, even if it's just for a little while of escapism.
Look forward to hearing that. Let's have a look at your video now. This is Dio coming up. This is Mystery. Dio and Mystery, and I'm talking to Ronnie James Dio. Ronnie, do you write, like the band, do you write individually or do you write as a team?
Well, we write in different ways. I write some of the things alone. Vivian and I share some of them. Jimmy and I share some of them. And we do it, again, collectively between Jimmy and myself and Vivian. We also have credits from the drummer, too. Vinny Avicii. He may not physically sit down and put pen to paper, but he is there all the time. I think he deserves the credit for perhaps booting us up the behind to make it all happen.
You've got no set routine, like one writes the lyrics, one writes this.
I write all the lyrics.
You write all the
melodies,
I see,
And we write the others in varying forms.
Talking of writing, you wrote that single, Hungry of Heaven, for the as a soundtrack for the film Vision Quest. Why didn't you release that as a single?
It was released as a single in Europe. It was not released, has not yet been released as a single here. In fact, I don't even know if the film has been released here. Do you know if it has or not?
I haven't seen it here, no.
I've not either. I assume that it hasn't been released here. We wanted the first single from Sacred Heart to be not quite so poppy. I'm not really all that taken by those kind of songs.
No.
We didn't want people to think that that was going to be a reflection of the rest of the album. So therefore our choice was a song called Rock and Roll Children, which is a little bit more true to the concept of the entire album, even though it's not a concept album. The song Hungry for Heaven was written specifically for the film Vision Quest, so it has a purpose in it. If it were not written for that, you probably wouldn't see it appearing on the album. I probably never would have written it, and if I had written it, I probably would have burned it. Because I'm very adamant about things like that. Yeah, sorry, I don't mean to be so mean about all that.
Oh, not at all. And Journey, of course, had Only the Lonely released.
Yes, and Madonna had Crazy for You.
Sure, yeah.
And I think there was another Madonna track on there, too. But everything that she's done lately has turned to gold.
Sure, yeah.
The film, it was enjoyable to do it. It wasn't my idea of a classic film, and here I am, of course, tearing down the film industry, and I'm sure Vision Quest will lose all kinds of money here, but one must say what one must say.
You chose the next video. Tell us about it. Why?
The next video, I think, has so many incredible effects in it. The song, I think, is a brilliant production. I don't think that the song itself is ever going to stand as an incredible rock classic, but within the framework of what they've done just as a video, I'm trying to think of the producer and director of this. It was Steve Levine, I think his name was, who did a brilliant job on this video. I think that the Mad Hatter concept that they've taken it through with, and especially the very end of it, and for those of you who have not seen the very end of it, I don't want to give it away. I just think that it's all so well done.
Let's have a look at it.
It's really classic.
Introduce it, Ronnie.
Well, it's by Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, and it's called Don't Come Around Here No More, or there either.
Charming. Tom Petty and Just Don't Come Around Here No More, chosen by Ronnie James Dio. Ronnie, I mean, obviously that was great success, that Live Aid gig on Saturday. It was brilliant.
Oh, absolutely.
And the Band Aid, I mean, they were all getting money together for Ethiopia. You wrote Stars, didn't you?
Yes.
The Hearing Aid, which is the heavy metal version.
That's right.
You, Jimmy, and
Vivian. We had felt... actually, the way it came about was this. There's a radio station in Los Angeles where we were at the time called KLOS. And I don't work for them, so I'm not trying to do any promotion at all. But they cared enough to put on a radiothon called Rock Relief for Africa. And we all took part in it. We all gave, I gave a gold record and some money. Jimmy did the same with a bass, Vivian with a guitar. Vinny gave a drum set.
Right.
It became so successful. It was going to raise $50,000. It raised $250,000 just in 2 days.
Amazing, yeah.
And Jimmy and Vivian felt that we were the only really musical form that was not represented as far as doing some other project for it. A la USA for Africa, We Are the World, the Band Aid, the Christmas song. And so they went to the people who had done USA for Africa and got their yes vote to let's carry on with a heavy metal, hard rock version of it. And from there, we just started to contact people and found that everyone was interested because they never had been asked.
She organised it. I see. Because WASP, obviously, there's so many people involved in it.
Yes, a lot of people involved. We just asked the people that we knew of initially and said, would you like to do it? Called Rob Halford up and said, Rob, would you like to do it? And Rob, being the nicest human being in the world, said, I'll do it anytime, any place, anywhere. Wherever I am, I'll fly at my own expense, whatever you want me to do. Luckily, we didn't have to do that because all of the people donated all of the services, not just the performers, but the studio itself, right down to cassettes to give to people just to hear what they had done. We did it over the course of 2 days with about 10 vocalists, 10 guitar players. We did it at the same studio that We Are the World was done at A&M Studios.
It's incredible all being together.
Oh, it was like I've equated it to having the nicest piece of dessert that you could ever imagine, just being stuffed down your throat for 2 days. It was absolutely wonderful. I initially did not want to get too involved in it because we were doing our own project, we were doing our own album, and I thought that it might take a lot of time out of it. But once the involvement came, being the aggressive little person that I am, I grabbed a lot of control from everyone, and we carried on. It was something that I shall never forget, and I've completely changed my opinion about a lot of people in this world. I think that the love that they who have always been castigated for being rebels and rabble-rousers of some kind are just the world's greatest human beings. And its purpose, of course, is to make all the money we possibly can. We who wrote the song have given it all to the project. We make nothing from this at all, nor do we want to. We want it all to go
contribute financially.
Yeah, and there will be an album from it, and there will be a single called, of course, Stars. And the idea of the stars is that whenever you're cold and lonely and look up into the sky and see a star, just picture it as a starving face. If you do that, you'll always be reminded that there are people suffering so much more greatly than we are. Maybe we'll do something about it. And by doing it, you can become a star too.
Thanks, Ronnie. I've chosen this next video. My choice now. This is Dio, We Rock.